on creating an empire with truth and wisdom. Any man can build a kingdom, but where is the man who does not suffer under its weight? Any man can become a success, but where is the man who does not become imprisoned by it? Any man can achieve fame, but where is the man who remains free of the persona? The desire for success is reactive. It is born of a hole one seeks to fill. It is the same with all desires. They exist in order to create a new image or replace an old one. Man tends to run from himself in search of a new world that will camouflage the pain of his past. He does not seek the thing for its own sake. He seeks a thing for what it represents. If he seeks a trophy, it is so that he may view himself as a winner. If he seeks wealth, it is so that he can remove the shame of poverty. He does not seek rewards, he seeks emblems. He seeks flags he can plant in new soil, blazoned with his likeness. The insecurities of his past and the inadequacies of his present lead to an uncertainty about his future. This compels him to want to be somebody. Creating something in an immersive process and a blissful endeavor. Learning is an engaging process and a satisfying endeavor. Becoming is an imprisoning process and an agonizing endeavor. The reason for this is creation and learning are natural. Becoming is unnatural. It is attempting to change the belief of being something. It is attempting to change the belief of being something small into belief of being something big. It is an attempt to enlarge a shadow. Man says that he seeks to make this world a better place for him having been in it. The world is not something to be changed. The world will always be the world. Rather than create an empire for the betterment of an unchangeable society, let him create an empire in such a way that he emerges from it a new man. For the birth of such a man will benefit the world in unimaginable ways. The man who desires to create an empire with truth and wisdom will mine his depths in order to come face to face with his demons. He will intent upon witnessing the inner workings of a mind clogged with impurity and pandemonium. He will insist upon witnessing the subtle undercurrents that flow through his innermost being. The reason he will do this is because he understands that self sabotage is around every corner and that this is its source. The reason he will do this is because he understands that his thoughts, words, and actions arise from an instinct that has been polluted by the beliefs he has accumulated from society. And unless these are seen for what they are, they will sink his ship. The reason he will do this is because he understands that a human being is a complex maze of desires and motivations. And unless these are seen in their full complexity, they will create the bar of his prison cell. With wisdom, he will begin to understand just how superfluous are the messages of the world. He will begin to understand that any and all advice is of no use to him. For it is born of intellect. Intellect is born of society. Society is full of shoulds and should nots. Shoulds and should nots are born of a decree to adhere to manufactured societal doctrines. He will understand that anything and everything that he hears is utterly false, unless he feels it in his bones. Such a man cannot afford the binding chains of good or bad. He cannot afford the imprisoning tethers of right and wrong, for he will guided by a purity that is beyond the false tenets of morality. Because he is at peace, he cannot do wrong to another. Because he is free, he has no destructive habits. What needs to be done, he does, without a second thought. If something needs to be torn down, he tears it down. If the entirety of the workforce needs to be fired because they are not contributing to the vision, he fires them that very afternoon. His heart never skips a beat. He knows nothing of evil or kindness. Whatever action needs to be taken, he does it. And he does it purely. Some of his actions will be viewed by the world as unkind. Some of his actions will be viewed by the world as benevolent. But such labels do not exist for him. For he has arrived at dispassion, the ultimate state of human being. Within him, the winds have died. It is serenity and calm in all directions. The pursuit of building his empire is fundamentally a pursuit of self-transformation. One might say that he builds an empire so that he may test whether or not he has arrived. Not arrived at success, but arrived at a place within himself that, having built an empire, he does not feel attached to it. Arrived at a place within himself that, having built an empire, he is not imprisoned by the egoic ownership of it. Arrived at a place in which he is free of his own creation. For if a man is free of his own sense of creation, he becomes God. And the greatest quality of a God is his invisibility.